and he is made a paragon of the ultimate achievements of evolution of life. In him is combined everything which was created and which reached its summit through the course of animal life. So the man should be provided with both the capabilities of surviving on vegetable as well as on meat. And he should be provided with the machination which is responsible for the assimilation of both meat and vegetable. If he is provided with that, then no man can say that to remain vegetarian is the better thing, or to remain a carnivorous is a better thing. Then comes the issue of our teeth, the way they are formed. There are molar teeth and the frontal teeth and the two, what do you call them?
Canines?
Fangs. No.
Canines. Incisors.
Not canine. Please.
Incisors?
Come here. This is a terminology because he is a specialist of teeth. He is a dental surgeon. Huh? So let me hear clearly what you say.
Bicuspid. 3 molars.
Bicuspids.
Bicuspid.
Bicuspid.
Or 3 molars.
I think I better avoid this term. Although I study science so often, I like to, but never come across this term, bicuspid. Will you understand what he means by that?
I think that's the same as one of the molars. I thought it's incisors you wanted.
The second one.
The first, the central was the incisors, then the cuspids.
Incisors and then?
Then the cuspids.
Cuspids.
Then bicuspids.
Then
molars.
Then molars. And these you two, huh?
Then the canine.
I don't like the term canine. That is why I'm intentionally avoiding it. But anyway, all types of teeth which are needed for eating flesh and masticating vegetable or meat and to bite things are provided to man. For what purpose? Not purposelessly. Then the Holy Quran says, Kulu washrabu wa la tusrifu, which God has created for you, eat of it and drink of it, but do not do excesses in that regard. Don't incline in one direction over much. So to be totally a vegetarian or to be totally as a carnivorous is not what is expected by God of man. Got it? Yet if you insist that you must grow fat on vegetable alone, go ahead and do it. Right?
I just don't see how...
What is the second question?
If with homosexuality, which is sown in pork consumption, our Jamaat's own book, and also I learned both from MTA and from our own book, yes. Pork Consumption Disease, is the pig is a homosexual animal. Is there any way from the Holy Quran and from science we can show that by eating an animal that is homosexual, it would affect us or affect society?
Why should you need the reference to Quran when you observe what is happening? I first came across this question in the University of London in 1956 when we were sitting over a cup of coffee, some students, and they inquired from me the wisdom of prohibiting the use of flesh of pigs. I answered this question to some detail from this angle and that angle, and then I also added the possibility. I said maybe it is a protest against a vulgar habit of this animal which is against the direction of evolution. sex was created for the set purpose of the survival of species and for no other purpose. The player element became dominant later in man when he was given the choice, and that choice pulled him in the direction of enjoyment, which was only concomitant to sex, not the purpose of sex. Without it, man would have, abhorred sex, perhaps, because it is the pleasure for which he goes, he seeks pleasure, and in that process accidents happen, So that is how the survival of human species is maintained and guaranteed. But the question is, the pleasure is the outcome of a need and necessity. The pleasure cannot command the process of sex. It is an outcome, a requirement to keep the process alive. The purpose of sex is negated when you indulge in homosexuality. It's a denial of those means which were produced for the safety of species, for the continuity of species in animal kingdom as well as in man. This is the real philosophy of this prohibition. That is why the answer at the time of Gomorrah and other townships which were completely destroyed was this message. All right, if you're not interested in the survival of species, then be gone. And people have been raising this question, why not again? And that has come again as the same answer. This AIDS epidemic, which is spreading far and wide and underneath the surfaces, is eating up the human chances of survival without the man realizing what is happening to him. This is the same answer which was given at the time of Lot. All right, if this is what you want, then be not, disappear. So, to discuss the issue of sex in relation to heterogeneous and other not what to call the homosexual and heterosexual terms. I didn't develop the subject to that extent, but in brief I knew this should be the answer. I said sex is created for a set purpose, and in the animal kingdom we observe the pig to be the outstanding animal who indulges in homosexuality. So there are two possibilities. Either that it is just a protest, just a reminder that these are the evil habits, shun the flesh and shun the habits. I said it is also likely that the eating of pork would remove one's aversion to these unnatural habits. And imperceptibly this flesh would influence his mind, his thinking. One girl shot up, said, what is the harm in this? I said, you have proved the point. The people who eat pork, they don't see any harm in it. That is what I was to prove. Everyone laughed and the tables were turned against her. So this is the reason. Already what we observe has happened. And yet you are wanting more arguments in favor of what has already happened. Thank you. I hope your interest in this question is only academic. Please. He has been playing me with this question so many times. So it was, I think, an apt remark in the end. Please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah Hazur. My name is Abdul Shakur Ahmed from Dayton, Jamaat, USA. My question is related to the sexual promiscuity here in the U.S. and throughout the world.